Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 Performance Center Carry Comp. This is a gimmick or a great update to the original Bodyguard 2.0. We're back out here at the beautiful Banner shooting range, and today we're doing a video that I'm sure at least some of our long-time subscribers have been looking for as of late. A first range report on the new Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 Comp Carry version of the firearm. It has a slightly longer barrel, as well as a compensator, which are sort of the notable features. And as luck would have it, we brought along our original Bodyguard 2.0. Some other things I've noticed before firing the firearm are Smith & Wesson has changed the serrations on this Comp Carry edition. And to make it sort of less confusing, hopefully, I'm just going to call the new Bodyguard 2 Comp Carry just the Comp Carry, and the original Bodyguard 2, the Bodyguard 2. So keep that in mind in today's video. So on the Comp Carry, it has less aggressive serrations. It also has a different style of serration that go across the top of the firearm compared to the Bodyguard 2. Smith & Wesson has changed both the front and rear sight. The rear sight is now squared off instead of that U-notch, and the front sight is a much more high visibility. I don't know if it's yet tritium. I'll have to look at the paperwork, but it's a high visibility, bright, neon yellow front sight instead of the orange tritium like on the Bodyguard 2. Let's put our first magazine through the firearm. I have 10 rounds, just 10 in the 12 round magazine because I had an odd number in the box. Of Blazer aluminum. I will shoot the Comp Carry at the left-hand target, the Bodyguard 2 at the right-hand target. We'll do a magazine through each, sort of do some thoughts, and then fire a 10 round magazine at our target of just white box for our initial thoughts. Here we go. Okay. Mild recoil. Maybe here on point of view cam, you can see the slot in the barrel for that compensator. Sights, I'm going to say, are pretty much right on. They felt right on. I like they're easy to pick up, that front sight and the squared off rear sight. Though I would say the rear sight is still a maybe wider than what I would prefer. Let's see how that compares against our Bodyguard 2 here at our right-hand target. Okay, my gut says it's easier to work the slide on the Comp Carry as well compared to the Bodyguard 2. Let's see how it puts holes in paper. Wow, that was terrible. I don't even know where that hit. Okay, I had 11 in that magazine due to the oddball nature of how many rounds I had left in the Blazer box. You could see being a little out of practice with the Bodyguard 2, I shot it a little to the left, which is sort of par for the course for a narrow firearm. It also felt like there was more felt recoil, which we'll test that a few more times today, but off the first magazine, it felt like there was more felt recoil on our Bodyguard 2 versus the Comp Carry. Let's see how the Winchester white box shoots now. Okay, here we go. Can we drop the slide? We can. Left-hand target again. I'm going to assume all of those went a little left of the bullseye. It's hard to tell from back here. Let's now do the Bodyguard 2 right-hand target. I feel like we're still left of our target with our Bodyguard 2. It feels like with the comp carry version that there is less felt recoil. I'll have to check out the weights on them. I don't think the weight alone would do that, though it does have a little longer barrel. Something feels slightly different about the grip. I haven't yet put my finger on, but on one hand, they look the same. Something feels different about the grip. Maybe it's just that I've worn the texture down a little bit down on the Bodyguard 2.0 grip. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 Performance Center Carry Comp is a micro-compact double-stack magazine pistol chambered in 380 ACP. It is 5.85 inches long, 4 inches high, 0.88 inches wide, and weighs in at 11.8 ounces unloaded. The pistol has a 3.1-inch stainless steel barrel. There is a safety model available. For sights, it has the Ameriglow tritium front sight with an anti-glare square notch rear sight. The sights are replaceable. Speaking of sights, here you can see that rear square notch anti-glare sight with the Ameriglow front sight. It is a tritium night sight as well. The trigger on the Carry Comp Edition is a flat face trigger. Off my gauge, comes in around 3 pounds, 1 ounce. Similar to the original Bodyguard 2, the Carry Comp Edition is very easy to field strip and maintain. With an empty and unloaded firearm, lock the slide back, press down on the ejector, and rotate the slide lock down. You can then push the slide and barrel off the frame. No tools or pulling the trigger are required. Reverse the process when you're finished with your cleaning and maintenance. For our second set of magazines through the Comp Carry versus the Bodyguard 2 in our initial video today, let's start and we'll do 10 shots using the 10 round magazines from each firearm of the Fiocchi Target Max 95 grain full metal jacket ammo. This time I will start with the Bodyguard 2 bottom right hand target. We'll do 10 shots. Then I'll do the Comp Carry 10 shots at the bottom left target. Here we go. I think some of my shots are maybe a little low of the target, most of them on the target. I would say certainly the least spectacular of the targets we've shot from the Bodyguard 2, though I haven't shot it in a while. We're working to that 6,000 round review, but not real quick. Though now that we got the Comp Carry, that'll speed up a little bit. Okay, Comp Carry, bottom left target, 10 shots. Okay, failure. Do we have a hit on the primer? No hit on the primer. Let's put that one back in. It could be breaking in the firearm. Could just be the cheapest range ammo you could buy. Could be a combination of both. Could even be sweaty palms effect. It's quite humid out here today. We had significant storms, we'll say yesterday and the day before, so it is extremely humid. I would say with the Fiocchi ammo, while it functioned, in general, it seems like my groups just across firearms in 380, they're not as precise as some other ammo. It could just me and subconsciously biased, or it could just be the ammo, who knows. Many people watching today's video are going to ask, what are the differences between the original Bodyguard 2 and the Carry Comp Edition? Let's dig into that. The most noticeable difference is, in both name and appearance, the presence of what Smith & Wesson refers to as the Carry Comp. Here you can see that Carry Comp in the slide integrated compensator and the port that is in the barrel of the firearm. To accommodate that power port, Smith & Wesson has increased the length of the barrel from 2 3/4 inches to 3.1 inches on the Carry Comp Edition. Another noticeable change are different sights. The original Bodyguard has a U-notch anti-glare rear sight with a orange tritium front sight. On the Carry Comp Edition, that front sight has been brightened up with a neon yellow Ameriglow tritium front sight, and the rear sight has been replaced with a square notch anti-glare sight. The Carry Comp also has what we'll call some ornamental milling on the top of the slide that's not present on the original Bodyguard 2.0. In addition to the obvious changes, the compensator, the little longer barrel, the little longer slide that goes along with it, another, what I would call more subtle, yet still pretty obvious change on the Bodyguard 2 Performance Center Carry Compensator Edition is that Smith & Wesson has subtly changed the serrations on the slide of the firearm. They're not quite as aggressive, though there are more serrations there, and I think that combination makes it easier to articulate the slide fractionally compared to my Bodyguard 2.0. So it's easier to work the slide on the firearm, especially from the forward or front slide serrations compared to on my Bodyguard 2.0. While I can work the slide on my original Bodyguard 2.0, I would say there's no doubt, at least in my mind, it's easier to work the slide on the Carry Compensator Edition. Another noticeable subtle change about the Bodyguard Carry Comp is, I think Smith & Wesson might have tweaked the magazine springs slightly. On my original Bodyguard 2.0, while after the first range session, we'll say day 2, I could load the 10-round magazine by hand to capacity, and maybe within a week later, the 12-round one to capacity. On day 1, I could easily load the 10-round magazine to capacity, and the 12-round, while I still need the mag loader on that one, it's close enough to where if I wasn't worried about wearing my thumb out, I could get that 12th round in there. For our second to last set of magazines in today's video, we're going to do 10 shots of the Winchester White Box as 5 double taps, and we'll start again with the Bodyguard 2, this time at our top right target, and we'll see how many of those double taps we can put on the target. We'll repeat with the comp carry at our top left target. Here we go. Okay, 10 of 10 are on the target. You'll notice I've put gloves on. In the extreme high humidity today, the sweaty palms effect was kicking in, making the firearms buck around like we had bodacious under saddle. Anyway, here we go. Comp carry, top left target. I think we have 10 of 10 on the target. We might even have a couple in the same hole or done like a snowman type hole while the moth was flying at us, like a Mothman prophecy going on. It felt like, and this could be more due to the longer barrel, sight radius, hair, slightly bigger firearm, that the comp carry got on target slightly faster compared to our Bodyguard 2.0. Though I would say with gloves on and being able to maintain a secure hold, we'll say the gap in performance from early in this video narrowed significantly. For our final magazines of today, in today's video, we're going to do 8 shots. I had 16 rounds, 8 shots from each firearm at our challenge target. I'll start with the Bodyguard 2.0 at our right hand 1.5 inch challenge target. Let's see if we can put a hit on it. Here we go. We got at least one in the target. I want to say 5 on the playing card, but it's hard to tell from back here. When the rain goes cold, I'll walk down and get the target and we'll know for sure. Let's see if the new comp carry can do at least as good. Cross your fingers, hopefully better. Okay, I see at least 1 hit on the target. Maybe 3 on the playing card. Again, from here, hard to tell. When the rain goes cold, I'll walk down and count them up. That vast difference in round count, along with falling back in sync with the firearm as the day progressed, reared its head on our challenge target, and the Bodyguard 2 carried the day. While we only put 4 hits on the challenge target with the carry competition, still, that's a good sign and would indicate that as we get more rounds through the carry competition, we'll probably get closer to 8 of 8 instead of 4 of 8 on that target, and likely do much better in the future compared to what we can do with the original Bodyguard 2. As we dive into the conclusion to today's video on this Smith & Wesson Bodyguard 2.0 Performance Center Carry Comp Edition, let's revisit that question of, is this a gimmick update or a great update? Well, it's probably too soon after one range report to definitively answer that question. However, we're trending in the direction of Smith & Wesson probably has another home run on their hands. Initially, after shooting the firearm today when I was showing it to some people at the range, I was like, I don't know if it's gun euphoria, but I noticed less recoil when shooting this firearm side by side next to my original Bodyguard 2.0. The other people that looked at it, well, the consensus was there actually was a noticeable difference in less felt recoil. And when reviewing the footage for today's video, we have stills like this one where you can clearly see hot gas venting through that port at the top of the barrel. And at least my meager physics knowledge would suggest that that supports the notion that it is going to help minimize recoil on this firearm that already has fairly mild recoil, especially for a 380 of this size. So Gimmick on the porting, no, it actually looks like it actually works. Another example of a feature that is a big update, in my opinion, on this firearm are the sights. If you have the original Bodyguard 2.0 and you're not a fan of the stock sights, you probably looked at changing them and found they're going to cost $150, maybe $200. And if you don't have the equipment to change those sights on your own, you then have to factor in gunsmith time and fees, which is going to bloat out that cost even more for you. At only being $100 more expensive compared to the original Bodyguard 2.0, Just the change in sights alone pretty much covers that cost, in my opinion. Now, besides that, we also have a slight change to the serrations on the firearm that, in my opinion, make the firearm easier to manipulate. So far, I find it easier to work that slide. While the Bodyguard 2.0 has a very aggressive slide in terms of the energy required to manipulate it, the carry comp edition, in my opinion and experience so far, while it's still demanding, it's nowhere near as demanding as I find the Bodyguard 2.0 original version to be. So we have different slide serrations that help make the firearm easier to manipulate. We have a different, better set, in my opinion, of sights that make the sights easier to see. A little more high visibility front sight that's squared off, anti-glare rear sight. Also, yes, it is tritium. In my first range session, in true Bacon Nation fashion, we found this firearm, we purchased this firearm, and we went right down to Banner shooting range to try it out then and there. Though unlike our original Bodyguard 2.0 video, we did actually take it apart, verify nothing was inside it that shouldn't be, and shot it down with some oil to help make sure it functioned properly. And as we saw today, I would say we had very good reliability, accuracy, precision on our groups, and overall a very good experience with the Bodyguard 2.0. If there's one downside on this firearm, it's that, well, my preferred concealed carry holster that you've seen in a previous holster talk video, due to the extra length of the slide and barrel on the carry competition, I have to find a new holster for this one. I can't just drop this firearm in the same holster I carry my Bodyguard 2.0 in, unfortunately. So other than that, being priced only $100 more expensive than the Bodyguard 2.0, with a compensator that works, I'm going to say very well in my experience so far, along with nice upgraded sights and better slide serrations, and I think that $100 is well worth the upgrade if you're looking to purchase the first Bodyguard, or if you're thinking that your Bodyguard 2.0 needs a little upgrade. I would certainly recommend thus far the Bodyguard 2.0 Performance Center Carry Competition. Well, anyway, that seems like the perfect spot to end today's video. If you enjoyed today's presentation, like it, share it with your friends and family. Those things are free and they help the channel greatly. If you didn't enjoy today's video, like it anyway, it helps us out a lot. Fred and I really appreciate you getting this far. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a good day.